Hello, it's me, and I'm going by the name Dead End Lane. Here is Pretty Hate Machine, and we are doing something that people has talked about and maybe requested. I don't know. You might not even want to hear me talking after this little episode, but here we are with FRIGHTCAP.
Woo! Woo! For our first video, Brandon and I are going to talk about what got us into horror and around what age we got into horror.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And mine is at a very young age, I guess you could say.
Too young.
Yes. I had two options of movies as a kid that would calm me down, and one was The Wizard of Oz, and the second one was Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's just like night and day.
That is, well, actually, they kind of coincide with each other because, some people, after they watch a horror movie, they have, that comfort movie that kind of, like, I know some people put on Disney movies after they watch something crazy. With me, that was my kind of thing. Like, I watch something crazy, then watch Wizard of Oz. It'd make it that much better. Like, what was one of your first, like, go-to rents that you always did?
Probably, we just watched it, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was my go-to rent in the horror section. Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Evil Dead 2.
That's good. The video store that we had didn't have a lot of titles. They had like the trendy, I guess you could say, in horror. So like, they had the Nightmare on Elm Streets. They had all the Friday the 13th. They had, they had all that. But like, I would get some of the obscure titles just because the box looked interesting. What box that interested you? Like the
I need you to roll that back, because what obscure titles are going to end up in Grundy County in the video store?
That would be Truth or Dare by Tim Ritter.
Okay.
Like I watched that a lot. Like the front cover just always got me because I like the shiny little razor blade on it that was hanging there.
That's a good one.
But obscure would be, Faces of Death would be, which I would rent the Faces of Death. But the first time I rented Faces of Death, the video store rental guy told my mom, was like, I don't think you need to let him watch that. And she's like, oh no, he's cool. He'll watch these. He's fine. Nope. I made it like for the first 3 scenes, and I watched it from inside my kitchen. Like the living room had the TV, but underneath the kitchen table, like I'd be crouched down and I was watching it. Oh God, nope, done. So my mom took it back and got me something else. I can't remember what she got, but
Steel Magnolias.
it's very possible. Steel Magnolias. Well, maybe Dirty Dancing. Maybe Dirty Dancing. That's what I'm saying. What was obscure in Teleco Plains or Madison? Where was that at?
I wasn't renting in Teleco Plains.
No.
But I was definitely renting in Madison. Video Dead was not. Is that really obscure?
Well, it is. Hell, I didn't see it till. I probably didn't see it till I was in my late 20s. Probably.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
One that I would rent over and over was Parents.
Oh.
It was so weird and so pretty.
Yeah.
That I loved it.
In your video rental store, did it have like a certain like vibe for the horror section, or was it just like, here's the horror movies, that's it?
No, it was a good vibe. Cutouts, and they had a big Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2 cutout. That was my favorite.
Yeah. Where I grew up, we had 2 video stores. There was the Tape Shack, and then there was R&B. Differences in opinion may vary, but my favorite place to go was R&B. Now,
what does the R&B stand for?
The R&B stands for Rick and Beverly. And yeah. So
I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, so
for
R&B
that.
video, Rick and Beverly. But like it was like in a I don't know what the word is, like a shed almost, like those, like when you go to like Home Depot or something, they got those little
Portable sheds.
those little tiny buildings or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, it was like that. And right when you walk in, you go straight, and then down in the corner was all the horror movies. There wasn't nothing. The presentation wasn't there. It was just here's all the horror movies. But at the tape shack, when you walked in, it had real high vaulted ceilings. I remember, or maybe my mind's just making that up. But like I said, I told you before,
You're probably really tiny. And
Yeah.
walking in and seeing these tall.
Well, see, like I said, I remember looking up, and they had this huge Invasion USA Chuck Norris poster. That, and then they had like the WrestleMania regular Nintendo video game poster with Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt, and that looked awesome. But when you walked in, you had to go back to this back section that was blocked off, and it was the horror section. And I remember them having the Friday 13th, like the hockey mask hanging down. For the most part, I mean, I grew up just watching anything that was syndicated on HBO and Skinamax. So like I watched a lot of like sequels a lot. Was sequels part of your watch or no?
Sequels were a part of my watch for sure.
Like what's the ratio?
But I don't think it's anywhere near like what you did, because you were just kind of handed sequels. Sequels were just what you had to watch. I didn't. I had more of a selection in the video store. So I would watch sequels, but I wouldn't watch them like you were one that would watch a sequel before you would watch an original film.
Yeah.
Because that's what was coming on basic cable.
Yes.
And being played over and over and over.
Do you remember what was one of your kind of last hoorah in VHS before you just went, I'm going to go totally DVD?
When would that have been? Like, when was the
wanna-
era of VHS to DVD?
The only way I can remember when DVD was like really pumping then is when I told you that I bought all the Friday 13th on VHS from R&B. So, and like I was in high school, so that was in 2003, 2002 era, I guess.
I almost think I can tell you that my transition into DVD was like American Psycho era. So whatever years those were,
Right.
was my transition into DVD from VHS. I was very delayed on that, but I think my last VHS tape that I ever bought when they were being produced was Disturbing Behavior.
Good.
I don't remember what year that was, but was that in the 90s?
No. Well, no, yeah. For the reason why I said no is because what I was thinking of VHS wise, I won't say the last VHS I bought was either Freddy versus Jason or House of a Thousand Corpses. I can't remember which one. To put it all in a nutshell, with growing up to the time now, is there anything that you kind of wish that you would have got into when you was younger to have like a lengthier time into what you like? For example, me with like the Italian horror film.
Buongiorno.
Like, because I didn't know anything about Lucio Fulci until Phil Anselmo and the Necrophagia DVD, because like I'm watching all these crazy scenes and I'm like, what in the world is this? And that's when I fell in love with The Beyond, and that's one of my favorite movies. If you all haven't seen Necrophagia Through the Eyes of the Dead home video,
He just sold it to you.
do it. But that's what I'm saying. I kind of wish that I did have those younger experiences watching that, because you know how I tell you about like when I watch certain movies, like if I watch Lost Boys, I have to eat noodles. Like,
yeah, I know.
Or if I'm watching Tom Hanks and Big, I gotta have damn oatmeal cream pies.
Your Batman one is my favorite.
Oh yeah, the Batman. In Batman, there's a scene where Michael Keaton and Kim Basinger, they're sitting at a table, and it looks like they're to me, I thought it was, as a kid, I mean, Jesus Christ is 1989. As a kid, I thought they had chili juice. Like they had the juice of chili. Because like when she's sitting there.
They're eating soup.
Well, it looks like chili juice though. Like y'all go back and watch. And she goes, can you pass the salt? And he's like, yeah. You know, like when she gets like it just looks like chili juice. But that's what I would do. I'd have my mom drain chili, and I would sit there and watch it. And I'll be like, oh, I got the salt, you know. I'd put my own salt in it. One movie, like, would you like to watch Demon Knight at a younger age, or are you glad you saw it at the age you saw?
No, I'm glad I saw that at the age that I did, because I was still underage when
Right.
I saw it, and that meant so much to me to be able to, which is terrible now to think about, but sneaking into the movie theater, buying a ticket for something else, and going to see Demon Knight instead. And that feeling, that euphoric feeling of, are you going to get caught the whole time you're watching it?
To get to the very end of this topic, of this fright cap, if you will.
You said it.
I said the thing.
You said the thing.
I did. I said the thing. As a kid to now, is your favorite horror movie still the same?
Yes.
Or has it changed?
It
It's
did
still the
not
same.
change.
Okay, what is that?
The Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2.
When you first saw it as a kid, loved it. Right now, love
Just
it.
as much, if not more.
Okay.
I
What?
teeter back and forth between Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2.
Well, what's
Evil Dead 2 for sure.
is it a combination of things, or is it just an all-together product?
It's all together just fun. That's the first film that I ever watched, first horror film that I ever watched, where everybody just looked like they were having a blast.
Yes. If you're going to resort and ask me that question,
Which I was going to ask you that question.
okay, well, it's a very complicated answer. Because what I think is the best horror movie in the world is not my favorite horror movie in the world.
Doesn't even make sense.
It makes complete sense. The best film, the best horror movie, and then what I think is
Your
my
favorite.
favorite. Yeah, my favorite. They're two different.
Okay.
The best horror movie there is, period. Like nobody gets to vote, nobody gets to decide this, is Evil Dead.
Okay.
The first Evil Dead is the best horror film. Put it around the world. I don't care. It goes up against anything. Exorcist, Fulci Zombie, whatever. Evil Dead, the best. My favorite horror movie, what do you think it is?
Sleepaway Camp 2.
You are absolutely correct. That movie has the best music, some of the best effects, even though I'm a huge Greg Nicotero fan, which you would think I would pick Evil Dead 2 or Intruder or anything like that, but I digress. Just everything about that movie makes me feel good, but that's one of those things where people that has talked to me in person and have we talked, I'm always saying right atmosphere, right time, and I feel that's a lot with certain movies. That's why there's some horror movies that I won't watch until I'm ready to watch it, because I'm afraid that if I force it, it's going to ruin the movie.
Yeah.
But that will do it for this episode, if you will. Who are you?
Pretty hate machine.
Who am I?
Dead End Lane.
Did you call me dead end lame?
I said Dead End Lane.
Okay, good, because I don't want to be dead end lame.
Who said that?
I don't know, I just feel like that's probably what has been said before. I'm sure somebody is going to hashtag it now. I'm dead end lame.
God.
Bringing you your Fright Cap.